You are listening to High School 555, where sports and comedy regain some culture.
Hey, if you gonna tell me the national export of Wakanda is security guards, then I'll believe you. But nah, nigga, nah. Wakanda, them niggas was like actual export. The national export, you got a bunch of security guards, because that's all I saw. When I saw black people in DC, it was their working security. Every security job was black people in DC, bro. Okay?
Chocolate City.
It's the chocolate city. Yes.
Black people
So
out
it's
there.
the most amount. If it's the most amount of black people, they should only be working fucking security jobs.
What's up with the UFC and these people having hernias and then pulling out like basically the day of the event?
So
what happened with that?
Last night, the funny thing, once again, I didn't find out there was a UFC pay-per-view main event happening this weekend until Thursday. So that tells you how well they're promoting it. And I'm somebody who looks at a sports app on a regular basis, and I have MMA and UFC are like two things that I like.
BSO don't count as a sports app.
BSO is tight sports.
Black Sports Online don't count as a sports app.
Hey, shout out to Black Sports Online sponsorship.
Hey,
shout out to Robert Littall coming on our show.
Oh, that's his last name?
Robert Littall, yeah. He used to come on the Damon Bruce show and talk with him. He had segments with him, and it was actually pretty funny because he's the dude who runs BSO.
Yeah,
Robert Littall. And he would come on Dan Bruce show. Shout out to Dan Bruce sponsorship. I don't think you have anything you can sponsor us with, but holla at us. We'll come on your show. We'll come on your show. Or you can come on our show. Talk Indiana basketball sponsorship. Anyways, what was I talking about?
Robert Littall.
Oh, Robert Littall.
No, you wasn't talking about him, dude.
That was another part of the tangent. Oh, UFC. Yeah, we're talking about UFC.
And
sorry.
The promotion, dude.
The promotion. All right. So UFC had a pay-per-view event this weekend.
UFC 234.
234. The two headlining fights.
How much did it cost?
Hold on. Two headlining fights were Robert Whittaker. Was he the lightweight champion? I think it's maybe light heavyweight or light heavyweight champion, fighting Kevin Gastelum for the title. Whittaker has some hype because he has a long win streak. He beat Yoel Romero twice now. Yoel Romero is probably like one of the craziest athletes in the UFC, and he beat him twice and almost lost to him in the last fight. But anyways, Whittaker's got a big name. Gastelum's been up and coming for a while now, and he's been on a nice little tear his last several fights to get the title shot. It was going to be an interesting fight. Unfortunately, Whittaker had to pull out yesterday morning or midday with a sports hernia injury in his abdomen. So basically, he's out.
So he just found that out the day of?
I don't know. Maybe he was, he sat up, in the morning to get out of bed, and maybe he just felt something pop. Like, oh shit! Maybe he's like John Wall. He slipped out of bed towards Achilles. Like John. Shout out to John Wall. We need to get you to an AA meeting because you are killing your body with all the alcohol and clubbing you are doing. Just go put that out there, John Wall. Hey, sponsorship, John Wall. Sponsorship. You giving away all that money? Give us something, please, John Wall. Anyway.
That's something about DC, man. DC point guards.
Yeah, I don't know what happened though. So he got injured. They nixed that fight. That's the main event. So the co-main event is Anderson the Spider Silva versus Israel Adesayna, who's up and coming.
No,
the style bender.
That was the co-main. They called the other event the co-main.
No, that was the co-main event. That's because they cut one fight out and they bumped everything
so they
up.
bumped everything up. I was wondering. I was like, no, this other fight's the co-main event.
No, see, that's where they tricked
That's
you.
why so since the other fight got bumped, that became the co. Wow,
bruh.
Wow.
Dude, so they moved up Israel Adesayna versus Anderson Silva. Adesanya is 20 years basically younger than Silva, and it's the future versus the legacy, right?
Yeah.
Future versus somebody that should have been retired a long time ago.
Yeah. He should have retired after he snapped his whole leg.
I'll tell you this. Anderson Silva had a contract with UFC. He's going to fight out his contract and make his money. That's fine. That's fair.
It's like Shane Mosley.
But this is basically like the end of his contract, so there's no guaranteeing he's going to resign. The UFC might resign him. He might not come back to UFC. He said he might just fight back home in Brazil and just do smaller promotions out there.
Dana White said that another knockout loss would be probably his last fight.
Yeah.
This wasn't a knockout.
He didn't get knocked out.
No.
Well, anyways, so that sets the scene. they bump up the co-main event to the main event, which then leaves you with what was the co-main event for last night? The co-main event that ended up being happening was
Lando Veneta versus Marcos Rosa Mariano. Both fools have a combined 5 losses or ties.
Yeah. So essentially,
almost as many as Wednesday got.
The fight that was supposed to be the 3rd fight on the fight card became the 4th fight, which is if it's not a good like the co-main event usually is like kind of like salvages whatever promotional shit or whatever agenda they're pushing for the main event. Usually the main event is either an agenda the UFC is trying to prop a certain fighter up, like a Ronda Rousey or a McGregor, even if when they weren't necessarily like champ. Well, I guess Rousey was always a champion. McGregor wasn't necessarily a champion, but he was the dude who was like
he was getting there.
He was getting there, or wasn't even fighting for a title, but since he was just the biggest name and that's their moneymaker. And then the co-main event is like usually like a good legitimate fight that you're gonna see a good fight or there's a title on the line and it's like earned. This fight you lose the actual like actually decent main event because it was a good title fight, and you have the one that's more the storyline. Sometimes the co-main event is the storyline when they're pushing the narrative to get people to want to buy. This was the one that was the storyline. So you got the storyline title fight, or not even a title fight, storyline fight, and then you had a bunch of other fights that were really not up to snuff for a pay-per-view event. Like if you're gonna charge $60 for a pay-per-view, you should have, in my eyes, you should have at least one title on the line, and you should have several big name fighters who are fighting for a title shot or some variation of that. You know what I'm saying? Like or a fighter who's young and up and coming. You can have 1 or 2 of those who's fighting somebody who's kind of a gatekeeper fighter to say, hey, you deserve a title shot next, or you're in the mix for a title shot now. This one had the 2 dudes who became the co-main event. One dude looked like he had never learned how to fight on his back, and the other dude was a mediocre fighter who was like not bigger than the other dude that didn't know how to fight off his back. It's funny because the announcer was sitting there being like, yeah, man, this guy's really not doing anything to keep him down. If he just puts his feet in his hip and pushes off, he can get space. The guy's giving him space to push out and get out of this. You know, he was in guard. He was laying on his back, and the dude was trying to hit him. And it was Dominic Cruz kept saying, I don't know why he's not doing it. He's just taking unnecessary punishment. This guy's literally, like, is not doing it. Like, this guy's not a great jiu-jitsu or wrestling practitioner. He's not doing anything to make sure and not allow him up. If he just does the basic techniques of how you get up off your back when you're fighting somebody, he could be out of it. Especially if he has longer legs and arms than this dude. And he just sat there, never took the openings, hit several openings, and then eventually got hit a couple times and then, like, curled up and just got pummeled and they ended the fight. It was like crazy. I was like, that dude was not experienced enough to be the 3rd fight on this pay-per-view, man. It's $60 you charging people, bro. This is a pay-per-view. And then the other fight, there was a woman fight. Can you pull up the woman fight?
Oh, it was Montana versus Qasim.
Montana De La Rosa versus
Nadia Qasim.
Yeah, she looked pretty good, but she fought some girl who I don't think ever fought in
The
her
sad
life.
part, the website said she was eyeing a fight with Paige Van Zandt. So it sounds like it's a lot of women that don't know how to fight out there.
Dude, she couldn't. Here's the problem. De La Rosa came and throwing punches, and this one was like, fell back, and then like let De La Rosa take her down. I was like, oh, maybe she's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu like black belt. She's dope.
She's ground.
She showed that she was flexible and she could be bent around a little bit, but she didn't ever threaten from being taken down to be like, I can submit you if you get reckless in here. And she just got worked to basically get full mounted every time and just getting like pummeled. It was bad. And then she got put into an arm bar, and she didn't. She got her arm. She was rolling with her, doing all this shit, showing flexibility to like not like get her arm broken or tap out right away. But like that happened. That went on for like a little while, and then eventually like it just got to the point where like she got her in an arm spot where she couldn't move anymore. And then she ended up tapping out.
Game over.
But I was like, is this woman's like skill? Like, I could take all your punishment until you get tired. And then I'm going to submit you with, like
you're just going to quit.
The figure 4 leg lock. I got to, it's like, you're so tired that you can't move the one. Throw that figure 4 on you.
Give you the walls of Jericho.
Yes. I think she was waiting for her to pass out. He's like, walls of Jericho. She's out. He's going to put the sleeper hold on her and have her raise the $1 million dream. She was waiting for her to get to that point. But she basically just got had no offensive game standing up punching, and when she got to the ground, she didn't do anything to counteract what the other girl wanted to do, which was like, I was like, why is she even on a pay-per-view card? Why is this fight here? Terrible.
Because she's young and 5. Said she was 5 and She was 5-1 going into that fight.
Well,
5-0.
was she fighting in the morgue? I was
Whatever it was. Now she was already small. She was already a flyweight, but she weighed so much against one of her opponents. It said
she got that. She got the coroner's black belt. She's
she
like
had to forfeit 30% of her purse to the opponent. So obviously, she was fighting someone that weighed 85 pounds because she's already a flyweight, but she went in overweight, so she had to forfeit for one of her wins. So obviously, she was fighting a midget.
No, she wasn't that small.
Our little person, excuse me.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. Get us in trouble with FEMA.
That's hilarious.
Come on, dude. Get us in trouble.
All right. Anyways, I feel like I'm ranting about a bad card. Essentially,
we
it's a
went
bad
about
card.
UFC if we knew you weren't going to rant.
Okay.
We knew you was gonna rant.
The other issue that I
That's
have.
part of UFC.
The other issue I
He said
had.
UFC, Conor McGregor, Alex Smith, Jared's on top of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
now stop.
Hey, just tell him Michael B. Jordan, and he'll go on and on. And Michael B. Jordan is somebody was
It's not Michael B. Jordan's not my trigger. It's Michael B. Jordan acting.
Michael B. Jordan acting and Ben Roethlisberger Hall of Fame credentials.
He's a Hall of Famer.
All right. Anyway, it was like
raping women.
God.
Him, R. Kelly, their first ballot. Him, R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, first ballot. Bill Cosby, first ballot. Darren Sharper, first ballot. Unanimous first ballot.
Nobody's.
like nobody questions his
No
name.
question.
Nobody questioned.
No.
Offenders. First ballot Hall of Famers.
That is hilarious.
So Anderson Silva lost, right?
Let's finish off.
Did he get knocked out? So did he get knocked out?
No, he didn't get knocked out. Dude, all right, so the first round he got hit where he kind of did like a wobbly wobble, like he was about to go shut down. And then like he popped back up and was like, no, I'm not knocked out. Like he was like, dude, and he like wobbled like this and then went back up. It was kind of crazy. But I'll tell you this. I think Adesanya could be really dope because the angles, his length, and his like fluid movement. But you saw the difference in the two fighters. One's 44 or something like that. The other one's like 24. Adesanya is way more. It's like quicker, more fluid. Anderson Silva looked just like older, stiffer, not the same fighter he used to be. Like Adesanya was throwing these spinning back, head kicks, and then Anderson Silva like I can throw a spinning back leg sweep. like dude, I'm telling you.
Couldn't get his leg high.
Well, no, he did one time. He got it pretty high, but like it was one of those things where like he doesn't have that same explosive ability. He's not the same fighter he was.
He looks older than me. Oh my God, he is older than me.
He's like 44.
Dude, he's 43. He's a year older.
Yeah. But the thing is, Adesanya just looked a class above because of his youth. Anderson Silva's technical ability and just his wisdom and like experience made it a competitive fight, and it lasted all 3 rounds.
He was eating some punches.
He was eating some punches.
But I never understood that in just fighting in general. When people just sit there and be like, yo, hit me.
No, he did that.
And Anderson was like, did that like 4 or 5 times. And dude was like, pow, 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 pow.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like,
Taking all this.
Yeah, it was like,
dude, hey.
that's good.
Dude, you should have seen
Yummy.
a couple times Anderson Silva just started doing this like in front of him. And I thought he was like, dude, what's that dance that all the kids do? They're like,
oh, yeah.
Because he did all this stuff where he's like this. When Adesanya was trying to throw straights at him, he's like just doing scissors and all kinds of other. Like, you can't hit me.
It's called hitting the folks.
Hitting the folks. Yeah, he was doing the hitting the folks lead up, but he never finished the folks. You know what I'm saying? I was like, get with the
hitting it. The folks never came.
Folks never came. But he did that a few times. It was a competitive fight. It was compelling. Anderson Silva caught Adesanya with some good punches here and there. I think Anderson Silva's experience and timing proved valuable. Adesanya, I don't know if he has elite power to really finish fools off.
If he did, he would have, because he was.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva was letting him.
Yeah, no, there's a couple times he put his hands down and he just took the punches and it's like, or
he
he's just like,
he was just eating them, and I'm like, how you're not knocking this guy out? And he's just like, hit me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's what Adesanya's. Adesanya's been one of those guys who can rock you, but he can't just straight knock you out unless he catch you like with some crazy kick.
Yeah.
So
he has to catch you off guard. You
yeah.
have to get caught with a stiff one.
And that's where Adesanya could be like kind of like a John Jones with his length, but he's better with kicks than John Jones. But what John Jones is so good at is that he's ruthless with any opening you allow him. He's going to hurt you in that opening. Whatever it is, whether you get underhooks, he decides to twist your shoulder out of place like he did to Glover Teixeira, whether you just leave him little openings to elbow you in the body or the head on the mat or standing up. Like all those little things, like he just takes advantage of the little front leg kicks into the knee, all that little shit. Like he's just ruthless. Adesayna needs to learn how to be ruthless. And in this fight, I don't think he was ruthless. Maybe because he looked up to Anderson Silva and like he's one of his idols, so he didn't want to just like wax him up and just end him like that. Or maybe he just ain't got that ruthless power.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't have it yet.
Maybe it's because of Anderson Silva listed as his biggest personal heroes. Maybe that's what helped carry him through those punches. Because his biggest personal heroes, he listed his mom. So maybe that thought was in the back of his head. I'm fighting for my family. Muhammad Ali, a champion and a hero in so many rights. He listed Bruce Lee, another martial arts combat sports legend of all time. And he also listed Spider-Man as one of his personal heroes. So, I mean, maybe with the Avengers and, after the snap, he just thought, man, I gotta stand up and take these punches. Who the hell is Spider-Man as a personal hero? It says biggest personal hero. Mom, Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, and Spider-Man.
Is that interesting?
Is he talking about
Silva?
Tobey
Said
Maguire?
Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man, regardless. It's not a real person.
I know.
How can you compare Spider-Man? Look, if I'm saying, hey man, my TV personal heroes are this person because of this reason. I can't sit here and say, man, my heroes in my life are Obama, Martin Luther King, and Huey Freeman. I mean, at least that kind of fits, but it's still not right.
Right?
But
yeah,
it
from
fits.
the Boondocks, yes.
I mean, would it be worth man? And Wolverine.
I know.
My dad, Muhammad, Oprah, and Wolverine.
Love, peace, education, tolerance of others, Jesus.
Talking Dak. How about
Do any of y'all know what a BBC is?
I tell you what, Jarrett told me after the Super Bowl that the Cowboys would have beat the Patriots.
I'll tell you this. All right.
What?
That's all I'm gonna say. He told me, and I let him explain. I was like, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna let him go off his rant.
Please explain.
Obviously, he's pissed. Hey, nobody's happy the Rams lost. Sean McVay got out coach. He came in with the game plan with the plays from Tecmo Bowl 1. But I'm gonna let Jarrett explain this one. And I was like, you realize, Jarrett, the Cowboys lost to the Rams.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we ain't talking about the Cowboys, lost to some other team. The Cowboys lost in the NFC title to some other team.
Yeah,
and then,
they
lost in the playoff. They barely beat Seattle, Jarrett. How the hell were they going to beat the Patriots?
You can
They barely beat Seattle.
And you know what?
Seattle didn't have a kicker. Seattle kicker got hurt in the first quarter, in the first half. They barely beat
And you called
Seattle.
him getting hurt. You said they shouldn't. It's like, man, you gotta watch out. He might pull a hamstring trying to kick this 57-yard field goal. I said it like that cat bastard, and he kicked the field goal and pulled his hamstring. And I
said it right before he kicked it to Jarrett because we were watching the game, and I got an affinity for Seattle. It's my second home, and I said they shouldn't try this. He's gonna pull a hamstring if they go out and try this far ass field goal, and this fucker pulls it trying to fire that far ass field goal right before halftime.
Yeah.
I was like, ain't this something?
Well, you see other kickers stretching before the game. This motherfucker's drinking beer and eating a ham sandwich.
Exactly.
He's like on the replacements with the kicker they had who was wild.
Smoking cigarettes.
He had the cigarette on the field.
On the field, he had the cigarette.
That was the type of movie. That's one of my. That's like a top 3 football movie to me.
That's better than that movie with by the dude that did Born on the 4th of July. The one with Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx is Willie Beamen.
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday. Which
What about
I liked Any Given
the
Sunday.
problem with Any Given Sunday, I like
the program.
The program was tight. That's my movie.
That is.
I like all the non-football scenes in Any Given Sunday was good. Like the back look into the football, what happens off the field.
Yeah.
That was great. The problem is, I was like, dude, this is the worst football. According to them, everybody gets flipped on every fucking play.
Yeah,
as soon as the ball snapped, the whole defense.
They went a little overboard. I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to simulate the chaos that is, like Brandon, you explained it, like putting on a helmet and running around,
not
like
being able to see.
the chaos of what that moment feels like. I think they went a little overboard in the portrayal of it to a degree.
I saw the making of that movie. They put helmets on the camera and shit like that. That shit was weird. It was a little too much.
Yeah, but they were trying to simulate that instead of just showing the third person view of what it looks like. So I appreciated that, but it was hard to watch at times and it wasn't as effective as they
My name is Willie Beamen. I got the ladies creaming.
So even with all that shit, my only question was, how did he get an endorsement after 2 games start? That's like a week and a half of him knowing he's on the team.
Because it was the Colin Kaepernick story. He came in. Colin Kaepernick was Willie Beamen before he took a knee.
Willie Beamen was
before he took a knee. No, because Willie Beeman was first. Colin Kaepernick was really beaming. He came out there after the starter got hurt and just was exciting and won games. And it's like, hey, man, let's give this guy endorsements. Let's have women taking shots off his belly button. All that changed the day he took a knee. Because all of a sudden, Colin Kaepernick went from being the light skinned, maybe he black, maybe he Latin, maybe he just white and really tan, right? To all of a sudden looking like he looked darker than he looked like Ray Lewis, LeBron James, and everybody else once he took that knee.
Now it's Malcolm X story. Now he's just like, oh man, weren't you out here?
Either way, he was my boy, Cap. Let me tell you, Cap, you was my boy before you had the knee. You was my boy when you took a knee. You my boy still.
I say nigger 100 times every morning. Makes my teeth white. Nigga, 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 nigga.
According to the dude outside 389, it make his dick hard. He said it make it grow. You remember that night, Brandon? You remember that night we ran into that fool? He was drunk. This motherfucker was drunk, man.
Oh, there.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
We started to talk about Dak.
Why we talk about Dak and we get to talk about
because it's one of your trigger points.
Yeah, man, we
gotta hear your trigger points.
All right, I'm gonna tell you
the Cowboys gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you said the Cowboys are gonna beat the Patriots.
The only team that can win the Super Bowl that's not in it.
All right.
They weren't even a step from being in it. Right, 2 steps.
I'm gonna say this: if the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl, they would have beat the Patriots that game. They might not have. Their defense might not have stopped the Patriots from scoring that much.
Right.
But I was saying it more as if the Cowboys had the defensive effort that they got, because all things equal, who would you say has a better offense, the Cowboys offense or the Rams offense?
The Rams offense until that fucking day.
Yeah, the Rams offense, right?
Yeah, I would say the Rams.
Who has a better defense?
But I will say this: that Rams offense got exposed because of one thing. It's because what they do is a gimmick. Sean McVay coached himself throughout the last 2 seasons into a corner to go up against a coach that is probably the best coach ever, who knows how to shut motherfuckers down.
Knows how to cheat very well.
And Sean McVay gave himself his own poison pill, which was, hey, guess what, Jared Goff? We basically gonna keep it like college for you. When we get right before we get to 15 seconds, I'm gonna tell you what I'm reading for the defense. I'm gonna tell you that's the read and go for it. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did last year. That's why Jared Goff went from being terrible and like irrelevant under Jeff Fisher's uncreative ass to being somebody who's being helped along the way. And it was something that people realized at the end of last season. They would snap the ball faster than most teams. They would be snapping it at with still 10 seconds left on the play clock because he's like, get 15 seconds before it cuts off. This is the read, go for it. Call the cadence, snap it. They run the play with 10, 12 seconds left. Unlike most teams. This year, they didn't do much to change that. You know what I'm saying? They continue the same trend. Sean McVay, maybe that's what he needed to do to get the most out of Jared Goff, or maybe that's him wanting to get the credit. I'm not sure. Chicken or the egg?
I think it's what he needed to do.
It might. I'm gonna give him the benefit of that. He more what he needed to, because Jared Goff unfortunately went to Cal. Cal had a great quarterback who had developed pro-style quarterbacks in Jeff Tedford. He got recruited by Tedford to go to Cal. They fired Tedford right before he got there, and they brought in a dude named Sonny Dykes,
who runs 4 plays.
Tech, who ran basically a bootleg version of what Chip Kelly ran at Oregon with all the signs.
It was worse.
It's a bootleg version of what he was.
Very bootleg.
But it was like
when you get bootleg tape and
you get the bootleg. Yeah, you get the bootleg of the bootleg. It's like your friend bought a bootleg and they burned it on their computer. I'll keep my copy. I spent $12 on this.
One song too loud, the other one don't work.
But yeah, so Jared Goff has never got the coaching he needed in college. So right now, these are his college years to learn pro-style offense, hopefully. Yeah. But what McVay has done a good job of is creating an offense to where he has a great running back.
It works for him.
Yeah, he has a great running back, but he doesn't have to overthink and over decide at the line of scrimmage or once the ball snapped. He knows his reads. He has the arm talent to make vertical throws down the field, which they didn't use at Cal because Sonny Dykes was throwing a bunch of little check downs and all these quick just snap and throw passes. And then every once in a while throw it down the field. Whatever. Sonny Dykes, come on our show so I can cuss you out for being a terrible coach.
He's busy getting jobs he shouldn't have.
Jared always invite people over to Aaron's house to get cursed out.
You can get cussed out at this house, motherfucker. Not at my house. Anyways, so Jared Goff does not have the ability to take a snap under center very well coming into the league. But Jared Goff also ever make reads at the line. He doesn't call with the center. You change your protections. You read and you call hot routes. He's never had to do that on a regular basis. Where what the Patriots are able to do is be able to make it confusing. They said fools were coming out saying we never seen that defense run by them in any of their film. They were running a defense that we weren't ready for. They were unprepared for. But also, then when you're unprepared for it, you need somebody who's calling the plays and at the helm to be like, all right, I recognize what they're doing. Let's change this up. You guys might not have practiced this, but I at least know. Jared Goff's not that dude.
No.
And Sean McVay
hasn't been in the league long enough to see defenses and to know that. I mean, we're trying to compare Sean McVay, new coach, Jared Goff, third year I think he is. You know what I mean? To Bill Belichick, been a football coach for 30 years? Just in general. Of his life, Just in general, 30, 40 years. He's been a football coach, whether it's been a coordinator, whether it's just been somewhere in football.
He was an assistant with the Jets back when they won the Super Bowl III. So he's been in football.
So he's been in football for a long time. And Tom Brady, which is arguably the best quarterback in the...
It's arguable.
Yeah, I'm saying it's arguably.
Yeah.
I don't say
he's the winningest quarterback.
The only reason I don't say Tom Brady is the GOAT is because they got caught cheating twice.
I will give him the winningest quarterback.
You can't be the greatest and you've been caught cheating.
You're not the greatest, you're the winningest.
If he never got caught cheating and then it came out, after he retired 10 years later, it's like, the Patriots.
But no, it came out while he's in the mix.
Twice. He got suspended for it, right?
One of them was a taping of a Super Bowl.
Did y'all hear about the dude
against the Rams?
Did y'all hear about the dude who got fired for putting known cheater on the tagline when they had Tom Brady up on the news?
No, what?
So basically on the telestrator it wrote Tom Brady, and then under there it said NFL football player, said known cheater.
Which is true.
True.
That dude got fired. Cheated. He got suspended for that.
Yeah.
They got caught recording other people. And that's what I always say. If you get caught 2 times, that means you did it more than twice. Yeah. Because it's not just you have bad luck, damn, the 2 times I decided to cheat, I get caught.
No, so much you got caught twice.
When you get caught cheating is when you all of a sudden you was like, oh man, my 5th time, I'm good, I got this. And then they get you caught. When people get caught cheating at school, it's never their first time cheating. Yeah. And they're like, man, the first time I ever cheated in my life, I got caught. No, it's like, damn, they got me this time. It's like, damn, they got me. You know what I mean? It's always like that. When you get caught cheating, shit, they got me. I thought I was on a roll.
It's like getting in the car.
Got a little too cocky. Gotta refine the game. Let's think. Julian Edelman got busted for PEDs. He missed the first 4 games.
Well, you know what? That's a lot of people's argument. If this was baseball, Julian Edelman wouldn't have been allowed to play. It's why do steroids get 4 days and then only 4 games and then they come back? Because remember, he got caught with steroids. They get 4 games and then they're allowed to come back, and then it's we forget about it. Well, but why when people who have real substance abuse issues?
Well, let me just say this: have you played football?
Oh no, I understand why.
Physical goddamn sport. I would be doing every drug in the book.
I agree. The closest I came to my contact, I played tackle with a bunch of players that ended up going to JC and some college ball. But just on our own, we grew up in the neighborhood. But I played passingly. I never played tackle, but I know how tough it is. And I would tell you this: I know why he take it. But I'm saying, think about this? He got no scrutiny. I think.
No, that's true.
It was
0.
4 games back.
0.
Think about Josh Gordon. All the scrutiny he got. We don't even know what drug he took. We know it was a recreational, but we also know he's a substance abuse problem. He had it since high school. So it's he gets so much phlegm. Shit for taking. Go ahead.
Phlegm. Hold on. Stop.
Flack. He gets so much flack.
Here it is.
This magic moment.
All right. If you don't know, Albert, a magic moment is one of Aaron's idols or one of his favorite sports figures, Magic Johnson. And when he gets caught where he makes a mistake, naming somebody, saying somebody's name, or just speaking, kind of like Magic Johnson. Can't speak good sometimes. We give Aaron a magic moment, so we play him this clip.
This magic moment.
Magic Johnson can't speak good sometimes because his AIDS be fucking with him. Anyway, like I was saying, other people get so much flack.
Bro, the memes were hella mean though. Right? Hold on.
There were memes for who?
But all the memes with the AD stuff, but we didn't talk about that. But all the AD stuff where they kept showing memes of Magic Johnson be like, hey, y'all give us AD, I'll give you the cure. You didn't see the memes? Angel said what
was hilarious.
I was like, that's
I'll give you the
fucked up.
cure.
And like, somebody else was like, hey man, if you don't give us AD for this trade, I'm sending some of my own blood work out to your blood in your city. Some shit like, I was like, that's fucked up, bro.
I'll take Magic Johnson blood. He got more T cells than I do. That man, he got them good AIDS.
What?
Good AIDS.
No.
That's the kind of shit I'll be
See,
trying
I feel like that's the documentary. Like, Matt Johnson doesn't have AIDS anymore, but all these women he slept with. Like, they also not having AIDS anymore? Like, where are they these days?
We're on a day right now. Matt Johnson had kids after being diagnosed with AIDS. He had a lot of kids with his wife, and none of them are HIV positive, or his wife. So either he got the cure, it's called being rich, or being able to pay for it.
Maybe he got diagnosed at Cedars-Sinai, and he's like, oh man, I got a good hospital.
Man, I was born at Cedars-Sinai. I was hoping they store my goddamn stem cells to inject to my back right now.
Yeah, he didn't go to Martin Luther King General.
He would have
died.
Would have died.
Right, he would have died. He would have
died of a gunshot wound, even though he didn't go in with it. Wait, just to go back, I agree with him.
What?
Everything Jarrett said.
But
I'm still trying to figure out how does this mean the Cowboys
is going to win. Win. I don't know how that.
Sorry, I went on a diatribe about Jared. All right, but so Sean McVay set himself up for that ass whooping, right? Against one of the best coaches who's dominated Hall of Fame quarterbacks, greatest of all time.
So the Cowboys got the second best coach, right?
No. I'm not saying I'm not saying. All I'm saying is that like in a world where if like you take if the Cowboys defense was able to shut down the Patriots the way the Rams defense, and I'm not saying that teams are equal. The Rams beat the Cowboys, but not because the Rams.
Did the Rams defense shut down the Cowboys offense a little bit?
Decent.
What they like to do.
The Cowboys scored more points against the Rams defense than the Patriots did.
They did, but did the Rams defense shut down what the Cowboys?
In the first drive of the game, the Cowboys offense scored more points than the Patriots did through 3.5 quarters.
Isn't that what? But
here's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that with what the situation was, with how Sean McVay basically created a loophole in his offense to where one of the greatest defensive minds with a fluid amoeba-like defense of a lot of good players, everyone forgets the Patriots have a shitload of first, second, and third round talent on their defense because they get players that they draft late first round, second round, or they get players from other teams who didn't pan out because of scheme or just because of just whatever. The Browns are a prime example. They gave Danny Shelton to them. Those motherfuckers couldn't run the ball on them because Danny Shelton was wreaking havoc. Malcolm Brown, University of Texas, late first round pick, first round talent. They have players. Dante Hightower. You got the McCourty brothers. You got Patrick Chung, second round pick. You got all these dudes. Stephen Gilmore, top end pick. You got all these dudes who are high end picks who are veteran, smart, and you have a coach who knows how to be like, hey, we're just morphing our defense to take away different things and make it difficult. And they did a brilliant job in the Super Bowl, and they shut down what Jared Goff could do.
Mm-hmm. And then Todd Gurley was.
Here's what I'm saying.
Not Todd Gurley.
Here's what I'm saying. The receiving core of the Cowboys better than the Rams. The reason why the Cowboys lost to the Rams is because the Rams basically said, "Let me bend you over and just take this football and run up your ass."
Wait. A receiving core of the Cowboys.
Receiving core of the Cowboys better than the Rams.
As a whole, I'm not gonna say that.
Hold on.
Yep. As a whole, wait. So Dez Bryant and
the one that was in the Super Bowl versus the
No, you gotta say as a team. You can't go by one game. You gotta say as.
No, they did not have Cooper. I'm talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking
Oh,
about the
no,
Cowboys.
I was
just saying they didn't have the Rams didn't have Cooper Kupp.
They didn't have Cooper
So
Kupp.
without you're right. You're actually I see what you're saying.
You're telling me Cooks and Woods, either of them is better than Amari Cooper.
You tell me what you
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Wait, you're trying to sell me Blake Jarrett right now.
No, I'm not.
You're trying to sell me.
Well, who's their tight end? Tell me who their tight end. Everett. Who's the Rams tight end? Everett, I'm not saying
whole though. The Rams.
I don't know. Now I think they might be equal as a whole.
Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks.
Balling the
Amari Cooper's better than Robert Woods and
Amari Cooper is almost the Andrew Wiggins of football.
Michael Gallup is young. He's good.
Come on, don't disrespect him like that.
Andrew Wiggins of wide receiver.
Amari
Cooper. Brandon is Amari Cooper. You were a Raider fan. You saw him as a Raider. Is he the Andrew Wiggins?
But he went to.
Has he hit his
But he went to Dallas.
All I
that
heard was this dude was the next Julio Jones, and
no, he's not Julio. He's not as big as Julio Jones.
That's all I kept hearing from him.
No,
Amari Cooper needed a change of scenery. He went to Dallas and he started balling out in Dallas.
He didn't ball out against the Rams. one catch.
No. Here's what I'm gonna say. The reason why the Cowboys lost to the Rams, and I'll get to now why the Cowboys lost to the Rams. This is my conspiracy theory, brother, coming out. The reason why they lost to the Rams is because the Rams didn't have to do anything other than and this is where the Cowboys defense failed them. The Cowboys defense have been great all season, and they basically failed themselves by just not showing up and being nearly as effective as they needed. If they were 15% more effective in that game, they had a chance to win that game. But because they allowed 280 yards running.
I know. How do you measure the 15%? How do you measure the 15%?
Where does this 15% come from?
That was 17.6 more effective on the offensive end.
They just had
23.2 on the defense.
Oh, how good
That was big.
hold on.
Third down conversions or touchdowns.
See how agitated he is now? I know. Let's make lemonade.
Okay, make lemonade. I'll make some lemonade right now. Okay. No. If they were if they had just not allowed 280 yards rushing, okay. It's not like Jared Goff. The game was never in Jared Goff's hands. The receivers didn't have to do anything other than be like, wait a minute, you want me to just block out here while they run it up your ass? For sure. Got this. That's all they did. That was one of the most disappointing, but also at the same time I was like, well, if you ain't gonna stop me, you don't deserve to move on. But it's not because this team is that much better than you. It's because they just that much outplayed you in this game, this one game. Now maybe if you scheme differently, maybe if whatever.
Wait,
you
so
got the ball
all
right
of
you.
this to say
I'm saying all this that Dallas
New England.
if Dallas holds the Patriots to 3 points through 3.5 quarters of the game, the Dallas Cowboys offense is going to win that game because the Cowboys offense they ain't gonna put up 21.
But do you think
they'll
Dallas
put up 17.
So you think Dallas defense would be able to hold them?
No.
I think Dallas will actually. I think Dallas defense against that team. Yes.
No.
Even if you say
Do you think Dallas defense is better than the Rams defense?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
You're saying Dallas defense is better than the Rams defense?
They're comparable, but I'll tell you this.
What?
Yes.
So you think the Dallas defensive line is comparable to
Dallas' secondary is comparable and
I'm saying
linebacker
this,
is comparable.
but
their D line, they don't.
Put it like this:
if
if the Rams were not able to get to Tom Brady only one time, sacked him one time, probably rushed him 2 times, right? Yeah. So 3 times basically was able to touch them, and they have a insane defensive line with the best defensive person, Aaron Donald and Dominic Sue. Come on now,
Aaron Donald got kind of shut down throughout the whole playoffs. The Cowboys, he didn't do much in that game against the Cowboys. He got
but let's say why
here's what I'm also saying.
He got double teamed.
Here's what I'm saying. No, he didn't get double teamed that much.
But what I'm saying is that the Rams have this awesome defensive line.
I know.
Dallas doesn't have that. They would not even get close to Tom Brady. He would be cooking literally some eggs in the fucking pocket.
Hey.
Eating them. Making a burrito. An egg and cheese
not against
scrambled
Cowboys D-line. The Cowboys D-line got pressure. They were one of the best.
But they're not. Their D-line's not as good as the Rams.
But it's not about hitting them because you're not going to hit Tom Brady.
No, you're not.
But you got to put pressure. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this. The Cowboys D was the star power on the Cowboys D is not there relative to the Rams D. The Rams D has established star power. The Cowboys have young players primarily that are all young, but the way they played this year was very encouraging, especially under the dude who ran the Legion of Boom.
I'm not saying they were whack.
So what I'm saying is
they are whack defense.
What I'm saying is that you like.
But I'm trying to equate how you're saying that the team that lost to the team that went to the Super Bowl has a better chance of beating the team in the Super Bowl.
It's basically like this. You're the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the New York Yankees, Game 7. You have Randy Johnson pitching for you, right? Yeah. Randy Johnson is pitching against the Yankees, who are the favorite team, and Randy, the team that's better, Diamondbacks, or let's say the Marlins, it's Josh Beckett, right? Regardless, your ace, the dude you need to show up that really has made your defense run, right? Doesn't show up that day. Does not have a good game. You have very little chance to win that game. The Cowboys D-line did not uphold their end of the bargain. The linebackers struggled. They did not uphold their end of the bargain in that game. They got blown out. You don't get enough possessions because the team is running the ball down the field and eating up clock like that. They didn't. I was like, how many times did the Cowboys punt? They didn't punt that many times. They just didn't get the ball that many times because every time the Rams got it, they was like, listen, run it for 8 yards.
So how is this team gonna beat the Patriots if they can't stop the Rams?
Because that was an anomaly.
If they lost
all year, good against the run all year. It was an anomaly. C.J. Anderson. They ran for 3 yards. The nigga got cut 3 times.
They ran for 3
anomaly. And the problem is with the anomaly is that you You deserve to lose because of that anomaly.
Do you know that
anomaly is an outlier? The Cowboys D had to give it up. They were like 2 100-yard rushes over the season.
All I'm saying is we're arguing two teams that shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl. The Saints should have been playing the game. Patriots. That's all I'm saying. Like we're talking about two teams that shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl.
The Saints didn't even get the Super Bowl.
But at least the Rams made it. Man, Cowboys didn't make it to the NFC Championship.
Right. You're talking about a team who lost to a team that should have lost to the next team that did lose to the Patriots.
If you're the Saints, you got an argument on.
Wait, so you think the Cowboys would have beat the Saints?
You can't do it with the Cowboys.
They already beat them once?
No, the Cowboys. Come on, Jerry.
How many points they hold the Saints to in that one game? Yeah, they would have been in the Superdome, would have been a little different. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm not saying that the Cowboys would have beat the Saints. I'm saying they would have beat the Patriots.
I think they would have beat Clemson in an NCAA championship game if the Cowboys were there.
Whatever, man. Fuck your couch. The Cowboys have a quarterback who is best when he's in 2-minute drill, when he's able to just like play the game and make plays. When he has to go to the line of scrimmage and maybe make audibles, like he's not as good as Romo was, but like when he's in a 2-minute drill where he's calling his own plays and they're just flowing, like that's when he's most effective. He's good enough at being able to read the line and make changes at the line of scrimmage and run the clock down and not have to be told what to do.
He's definitely better than Jared Goff.
Has better throwing talent down the field than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has leadership skills and an ability to read the game better than Jared Goff does right now. And that's saying something. It's like when your quarterback is Dak Prescott, he's not the best at reading routes and seeing shit and anticipating things right now, and maybe he never will be. But he knows how to like pre-snap read better than Jared Goff, and he'll make gutsy plays and extend plays better than Jared Goff. And if you have a quarterback going against the Patriots defense like that, I feel like you have a much better chance to win. They had no chance to win because Jared Goff was basically shitting himself because he's like, wait a minute, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
Coach ain't there no more. Oh shit, what do I do? And the offensive line struggled because of that. Because there wasn't that fluidity between the quarterback and the center and the rest of the offensive line. This is what we're seeing, guys.
I'm about to say, I'm not knocking you on anything that you're saying about the Rams, because everything you're saying about the Rams is correct. The only thing I'm knocking you on is saying the Cowboys would have beat the Patriots. That is it. Everything you're saying about the Rams is right. Am I right?
Yeah, I agree. And I'm a Rams fan, and I agree.
We lost. We fucking super lost, man.
Let's say the Cowboys and the Patriots in the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. Jason Garrett's still the Cowboys coach.
Well,
like true. You tell me Bill Belichick's going to outcoach Sean McVay. But he's not going to get outcoached by Jason Garrett.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even though Sean McVay with that whole 15-second thing is whack, like he did make adjustments to try to improve that. The problem is that he got outcoached by Bill Belichick. Right. Sean McVay still is more of an offensive mind, better offensive mind than Jason Garrett.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
That's true.
Well, here's Jason Garrett also. I think fuck Jason Garrett. All I'm saying is that the Cowboys would have scored more than 3 points. With that offense, the Cowboys offense would have scored more than 3 points, and they probably would have scored enough to score more than 13 points.
Well, let me say this: the Cowboys would have scored more than 3 points, but I think the Patriots would have scored more than 13.
Mm-hmm.
That might be true. I never said that.
Never said that.
It might have been 16, and the Cowboys scored 17. The Cowboys really could get 17 points.
It would have been 30, dude.
You look at the Cowboys.
It would have been a higher scoring game.
Yeah.
I would give you that.
If you guys look at the Cowboys D this year, they were actually a really good defense.
They were solid. They were solid. They weren't. I mean, Cowboys aren't scrubs. They're not a scrub squad. The only team that I think that could have beat them that didn't was KC. Yeah. And KC would have beat them. That dude wasn't off lines. Was it Foster? Yeah, Ford. Yeah, Ford was offsides. If Ford wasn't offsides in the neutral zone.
You keep talking shit about people that invite them to come on the show. Like, I know. I never thought about that. Invite motherfuckers to come over here.
Right. Just break up your shit.
I'm getting the dog to walk. Next time I'm getting my ass kicked because of some Jared said.
Well, I started this because I wanted to talk about I think they should not re-sign Dak Prescott to this day.
No money.
To no money. You keep Zeke, you keep Cooper, you keep all the pieces around him. You can get a quarterback. Like they've proven that you can get a mid-tier quarterback.
No, a mid-tier quarterback
to come in and save your defense. Right? You got an all-star. You got a Pro Bowler at defensive line now. Right? You got a linebacker now that you're willing to get rid of Sean Lee now because you think he's going to be the centerpiece. You do.
I get what you're saying.
Right? But now you can't pay nobody else.
But what mid-tier quarterback is good?
Right,
that's out there.
So I'm saying,
what are you gonna get
for the
Kirk
next
Cousins?
for the next 2 years, right?
You're gonna get a
next 2 years. You got Joe Flacco.
You're gonna get.
Joe Flacco. Hey, he's won a Super Bowl. How many Super Bowls is Dak Prescott?
Wait, say that name again.
Super Bowls Tony Romo?
Say that name again real quick.
Tell you, Joe Flacco is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott today.
No.
He got hurt, man.
No.
You can't.
No.
You can't. We're not counting injuries against him.
No.
I don't know if I
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this. Name 3 receivers Joe Flacco has threw the ball to.
Good and terrible.
Basically, it's basically been Michael Crabtree has been the biggest
Crabtree
receiver,
today.
the best receiver he's got. He's been doing.
What about that Super Bowl head? Anquan Bolden and
I'm talking about the last 3 years.
And that dude.
The last 3 years.
Oh, last 3 years.
Last 3 years.
Michael Crabtree.
Exactly. He got there this year. Exactly.
Who else got there this year? All 3 of those
Exactly.
guys
Was Steve Smith? Was Steve Smith on Baltimore or Carolina when he got?
Steve Smith was on Carolina. Oh, he was on
Like
Baltimore
last
when he
year.
got hurt.
It was a Baltimore.
Yeah. But remember, he was going to retire that year.
Exactly.
Got hurt and then came back to play one more year.
That's the best receiver he's had in the last 3 years. Steve Smith.
No, it is. That's
hurt Steve Smith.
He's been throwing to Daniel Pitta. He's got his running back. Basically, his running back threw himself out of the league.
Yeah, but
right? Like the situation hasn't been good. And he can throw the ball.
No. I'll tell you this: he got paid, and they can't afford to bring nobody else in there.
Which is Zach saying
that
they're going to do with Dak Prescott. They're going to pay him.
You can still draft well.
Guess what? We're going to start patching together this offensive line, which means Zeke is not going to be as effective. Oh, you know what? Michael Beasley.
You know, even with the offensive line, offensive linemen don't get paid a lot. So you can get you a solid offensive lineman for really cheap, right? Offense, defensive line, unless you're like an Aaron Donald or a Dominic Sue or something, those are the people that get paid a lot. But offensive line, those people don't get paid. Like
No,
those,
the left tackle gets paid.
The left
Well, the left
tackle's the second highest paid.
Yeah.
But you can find
solid
offensive
because they do.
Yeah,
fine
you
guys.
can find
Barkley.
and even in the draft, you could definitely find them in the draft.
But you have to have
offensive
talent
linemen
value. Good talent value.
don't end
But
up
they
in
do.
free agency
They usually do.
because they don't get paid a lot. So like when you decide like you're not going to get I'm going to go get that left
defensive
tackle for this team
teams
unless he's really good, like he's like a Russell Okung and it's just underachieving.
You're right.
And you're like, oh, I'm going to try to make him better because offensive linemen don't hit the free agent market like that.
But you don't think they should sign Dak Prescott and bring in a Joe Flacco?
I don't think they should play any quarterback.
Or maybe hold on. You know what? Hold on.
bringing
You
in
probably
Joe
got
Flacco.
some point. I would probably get Nick Foles.
You said the Cowboys should bring in Nick Foles.
I think they should bring in Nick Foles.
No, Nick Foles trying to get Nick Foles
Nick
opted
Foles
out of
trying to
$20
get
million.
paid, yeah, he's trying to get paid, so never mind.
I'll tell you this.
So actually, no, never mind. I would rather have
won a
Dak.
Super
How many
Bowl
Super
and
Bowls have-
almost went to another if his receiver know how to hold on to the damn ball.
I'm gonna tell you this though. Nick
And their
Foles.
whole
Nick
team was
Foles.
injured.
Nick Foles is not a quarterback that you can be like, we're gonna pay you like the man and you're gonna be the man.
No.
He's not that dude. He's the dude who's like, oh, like the expectations are not big on me. I'm not expected to be the man. And you need me. Oh, I can do this, and he just does it.
No.
Like that's what I've seen.
Out of 20
Yeah, but Nick Foles has shown like when they were trying to give him the starting role, Nick Foles wasn't ready for that shit.
He had one good year,
but he fell into that season. He wasn't expected to be in that season.
He's a coach.
And when the expectations are there,
Wait,
Yeah.
Carson, but when the playoffs started, there are expectations, right? When they had the Super Bowl, there were expectations on Nick Foles. Like he had expectations.
No.
He had expectations.
He was like, I'm
went out there and won that Super Bowl.
Nobody expected him to be
Nobody was expecting
Even
Nick
though he
Foles.
wasn't expected to be there, that's still
expected to
hard.
win,
That's
though.
still pressure on him, and he performed.
True, but what I'm saying is, if Nick Foles lost the Super Bowl, nobody would have been like, God damn, man, Nick Foles.
What the fuck are you doing, dude?
I'll take Nick Foles over that.
He didn't like live up to the expectations. They would be like, well, they had Nick Foles in there. He was the backup. You know what I mean? Like that's what everything would have said. Nobody would have hated on him. It would have been all cool. Now, if Carson Wentz was there and they lost the Super Bowl, he would have been like bashed bad.
Yeah. I think expectations are really important. Like there's certain like ways of quantifying a player or qualifying a player's like talent. And there's things that are beyond just the measurements and the numbers. And one of those things like the it factor or the leadership factor. Like one of those things like there's some players who play better when the starting expectations for whatever that new cycle is. And
but it's also some
players that have
it.
We're players of habit though. It's a new season. It's new sets of expectations,
you know who
right?
they need to bring in, Jared? You know who they need to bring in?
Well, Joe Flacco started having Super Bowl expectations, and he went to the pooper.
But you know what?
He was shitty in the regular season.
Wait, hold on.
Listen, this is what they need to bring in. Somebody that's like a Dak Prescott, right? Somebody that can, scramble if needed to, can still throw down the field, can make the Kaepernick.
No, you know what?
Bring him Kaepernick.
Not to Texas.
Bring him in, baby.
I'll be out.
Bring him in. Bring on in Cap, man.
Bring Kaepernick to
Bring,
Dallas.
come on, Jerry Jones.
And
Take a knee with him.
Amari,
and then bring Ray Lewis with you and have him go on 2 knees.
Amari Cooper will
together.
have less stats than Terrence Williams.
They sprayed painted a nigger on LeBron James' fence when he moved to LA.
What do you think?
And Colin Kaepernick in Texas.
Yeah, no.
Do a Cap, but he's in Dallas though. Dallas, you know what I mean? That's H. No, that's
Still
H-Town.
Texas.
That's
Still
so
Texas.
different.
Still Texas.
Living in America.
Sao Paulo. If the Cowboys had Russell Wilson, they would
Russell
have won the
Wilson
Super
hurts
Bowl.
for anything. Russell Wilson, I don't know. I feel like he's
another
a very
person who has more Super Bowls than Dak Prescott.
Nah, Russell Wilson's good. Russell Wilson.
He's underrated. I feel like he's underrated.
He's underrated.
No, he's like the second. He had the second most touchdowns this year.
Yeah, but he's underrated.
No,
He's always
he's
underrated.
very underrated.
That's my boy Russell. You know my boy
Yeah,
Russell.
Aaron Jock right Russell Wilson, hardcore. He be like, man, he's like, he got the woman I wanted.
No, he don't have that. Come on, now.
She was on my cast.
I ain't never been in Sierra. She ain't had a good enough voice for me.
So, yeah, that's the one Sierra she can go to,
really
Aaron.
got voices.
That's the one Sierra she can fuck in too.
That's the one Sierra I can go to. Don't have to worry about my G6 PD messing up my.
Aaron can't
Bob
go to the Sierra.
Bob Fully Love taught me one thing. He taught me you never go behind certain people. And Future or whoever that rapper she with, one of those people I ain't never going behind.
Future got his man. I said that article.
Shout out to Future.
Shout out to Bob Fully Love. Shout out to Bob Fully Love. Thank you for that message. Because when you told me that message and you taught me to him, you told me you met a girl who messed around with Andre Rison and you walked away from her. She was fine as hell. Because you said, and I said, I couldn't believe it. I was at the club with this dude. That chick fine as hell. He's like, man, she messed around with Andre Rison.
Wait, how do you find that out?
Oh, because we used to hang out in the clubs where all the like 49ers and players used to hang out.
Yeah.
And he was there one night when she was messing around when she left with Andre Rison.
Yeah.
And I was like, Bob, that chick is fine. He's like, there's certain people in this world you should never go behind. And for me, Andre Rison is one of those people. And the fact that he turned that one of the finest women I've seen in my life down for that reason, I said, dude, he's right. There's certain people you can't be behind. I don't care how much Vaseline they make in the world. I don't care how much God made internal plumbing to cleanse itself. You know what? When someone shits in your tub and takes a piss in it and then decides to have a homeless orgy in it, then you got to get a new tub.
Do any of y'all know what a BBC is?
Well, this is totally off topic. Okay, I don't know how to reply after that.
You just gotta go with
I guess technically about sports.
But what I'm saying is there's a big difference from like wifing somebody up and just messing with a girl.
I know, that's
you know
what
what I mean. Like, I mean, if I wouldn't wife somebody that Future had, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't wife something that a lot of people wouldn't have. Just me. Like, I don't like to wife up people's exes or whatever. But if I'm going to dibble dabble in a night of fun,
I ain't got that problem.
I ain't really tripping about who I'm dibble dabbling in unless she mess with Charlie Sheen, and then maybe I'm gonna have to be like, hey.
So would you follow somebody that went behind R. Kelly?
No, because it's probably a 15-year-old. Okay.
Touche.
You know about this one encounter she had with Andre Rison, right? But you don't know her whole life history, man. Like the girls you like might go after might have been fucking with some dude like you really don't want to be going after, right? Like, dude, okay, Future, like, okay, cool. Like, I could Instagram a bunch of people say, hey, have you ever saw the Future? I can figure out who the fuck that was, right? But like, hey, some dude at Era or 389, like, you don't know.
I agree.
You have
and she could have been smashing Jerome that worked at AM/PM.
Sometimes,
in the back of his '89 Buick.
Sometimes,
and that's why it's better to never fucking.
That's why I said the ignorance is great, right? It's bliss.
Ignorance,
and
is
so
bliss.
Not knowing them, but when you see someone go home on Andre Rison, you're like, fuck, I can't do this. I seen this man. I seen the things he's been in that club with.
But you know, let me say this, right? So when I was in college, this is when Tyreek Evans came to the Kings. Yeah. And a couple of my homies was messing with the same girls that Tyreek Evans was. And our whole thing was like, yo, this is actually pretty dope because we're broke college students. Right. Tyreek Evans is a millionaire, and we're smashing these same. Well, they were, not me.
All of y'all.
I was wifed up at the time, still is. But what's up, baby?
I dream about all the pussy.
No, but they're like, but their thing was like, we're smashing the same females that these millionaire superstars is. You know what I mean? Like, to me...
Yeah, but see, that's different because it's Tyreek Evans.
No, but I'm saying
he is a decent human being, as far as you know. Andre Rison got about as much decency as a crack whore. As a crack whore in Tijuana. As a crack whore in Tijuana that can't even work the donkey show.
So
that's what Andre Rison is.
I get what you're saying. Right?
Yes.
I get what you're saying. Because I've stopped dating people based because I knew too much about their date history. I've stopped dating people because they knew too many black dudes.
I see it. Remember that one. I remember that one. I remember that one.
Albert, bro. I was out one night. We both do it. We work with her, and he's just like came to me afterwards. He's like, we on downtown. He's like, I was like, man, y'all seem like y'all cool. Man, you should. She's like, nah, man, I don't know. See how many niggas she hugged tonight? Say what's up to?
That was the first time I ever heard Brady use that word.
I was like, what?
He came and talked to me on the weekend about it.
He's like, nah, man.
She just know too many niggas here.
I was like, Brandon, I didn't know you felt that way. Nah.
He's like, man, every time we go somewhere.
That's a red flag. He's like, man, she rude about it too. Like, we were having a conversation, and then she just like cut me off and turn away from me and hug some other nigga. I was like, Brandon,
I never heard Brandon talk like that.
I was like,
I ain't
damn.
never heard Brandon talk like that.
That's disrespectful though.
Just hear about it.
I will be at the farmer's market and Brandon starts playing her, and I was like, oh,
so
man.
I get getting like the backstory, right? Because
Yes.
I'm a harsh judger of past relationships. Which is the reason why I stopped asking about past
I'm not a
relationships.
harsh judger.
Don't ask, don't tell.
I don't mind.
On both ends.
But see, you know the problem is, you two on that side of the table, you ain't hung around degenerates.
I'm in the rap game, bruh.
Okay, you hung around degenerates. But I'm talking about some really sexual degenerates. Like, we're talking about, like, R. Kelly-ish, Bob Fully Love-ish. Like, you've heard some Bob Fully Love stories.
I try to stay away from those.
Drake! You've heard come on, you heard the Bob Fully Love story. You heard about that. Marshawn has told you some stories. Look, I'm talking about if this dude is Bob Fully Love is telling me who's a degenerate. If he's telling me don't go behind this person,
I get it.
then I'm like, holy shit, this dude is disgusting. Like, it's like say R. Kelly only dated people over 18. I still wouldn't go behind R. Kelly because it's like, man, this dude a degenerate.
Oh no, I got a couple.
Like, there's porn stars that want Bob Fully Love. I mean, not Bob Fully Love. 40 Slim. They actually look alike too. That's the craziest thing. People used to fuck around and call him R. Kelly, R. Fully Love, because they were like, dude, you look just. And he was saying, yeah, I know. They were like twins, I swear.
That's hilarious.
And here's the crazy thing: if R. Kelly dated over 18-year-olds, they're porn stars that want R. Kelly arrested. There's degenerates in porn that want R. Kelly arrested.
Yeah. No, you're right. I got you.
So that's all I'm saying. I'm not harsh on my exes. They whatever they did before me, all I care about is me on who I date.
So we're saying all this to say,
but there's some
Wilson would be good
for the Cowboys.
You see how we bring it all back?
Man, thank you for bringing it. That's my boy Russ. See, this is
I got a brand new bag. It's a man's world.
Alone at night. Look.
That's all this for. We're talking about Andre Rison and degenerates to let you know that Russell Wilson is a good guy.
They would have won the Super Bowl.
I'll take that. I'll pay Russell Wilson money. Yeah.
Let's talk about some music.
All right, you know, this is what's been missing. We haven't been able to come back around this. You got me, Jared, and Kamal. We just get stuck on the rant. Next thing you know, we talking about somebody running to keep the sneak at Bay Street.
I ain't brand that nigga Joe. I know, but that camel toe.